What's up, everybody? It's Michaela B here with another Tea with Michaela B. Shout out to all the Patriots fans. First of all, y'all pulled that one out. I guess not the fans, but the actual Patriots. So that was pretty fun to watch. So this tea is coming out on a Monday. Hope you're not mad at me. So our last video was me responding to the whole Michaela applied to Amazing Race thing. And for this video, I thought it would be cool to share with y'all where that idea for applying to the Amazing Race actually came from. So to do that, I've got to rewind, go all the way back to about 2008, which is when I graduated high school. So at the point of me getting ready to graduate high school, I wasn't one of those kids that was like super sold on one particular college or university. I was just trying to get out of the town I came from, which is DeSoto. It's not that I didn't like it or didn't like the people. It's just that when I looked around, I looked at the people that I knew. I looked at the people that stayed in my city, and I just couldn't find somebody whose lifestyle I actually wanted. So instead of doing what was common, which is, if you're the top 10%, you're going to UT, and if you're the next threshold or you run track, you're going to Baylor. Or if you're the next threshold down, you might go to SFA or Sam Houston or something like that. Instead of doing that, I said, let me go somewhere where people where I'm from don't typically go, because maybe that will get me closer to what I want, which is what people around here don't really have, right? So I decided to go to a school in Fort Worth, Texas, and I knew no one really that went there. There was like maybe one person a year. My year, there was two people, a girl on track scholarship and me. So I ended up going to TCU, and when I'm there, number one, I met with a beautiful lush campus, but more than that, I met with a beautiful, not so great bill. And I didn't realize the cost that was going to be associated with the school. So automatically, instead of getting excited about joining clubs and organizations or, doing different things, my mindset on the one hand was you go to school, you make good grades, so you can get a good job, right? But then also I'm looking at this bill and I'm like, I need to go to school, make good grades, but have a couple of jobs right now so I can pay this bill. So all of a sudden I'm thrown into this cycle of go to class, go to work, go to class, go to work, go to class, go to work. And life was stressful. Academically, it wasn't stressful at all. That's why I graduated at the top of my class, right? But financially, it was stressful. Socially, it was stressful. And it was just one of those situations where literally every decision that I was making was about money. It was, what can I afford? I'm not going to eat it. I'm not going to go out to eat with y'all, or I'm not going to go to the party because there's a cover charge, or I don't have any clothes and I don't want to spend the money buying the clothes to go. Or, if we go to that restaurant, it's not included in my meal plan, so I'm not going. Everything was about money. Even the types of jobs I took overnight jobs because they paid $1 an hour more. So now can't sleep. It's just these things I was doing, everything was money based. So what I end up deciding is my senior year, going into senior year, I was like, look, Michaela, you've worked really hard. At one point I was holding down 3 jobs at one time. And I realized there are a lot of kids at this school who do not have any financial worries, right? And if you isolate those with no financial worries, I couldn't find one of them that had more than one job. Most of them didn't have a job at all, right? Most of their parents, maybe one of their parents didn't have a job at all. So I'm like, something is off here. If jobs are what I need, why do the people who have what I want not have them? And that question puzzled me. So I said, look, I've done this job thing for 3 years. I'm still broke. I still have loans. I've had no time. I've had limited fun experiences. So I'm going to do something for me. This is my college experience. I've wasted 3 years. I'm going to do something for me. And that one thing for me was studying abroad. So I ended up saving up some money, taking out a loan, and doing 4 months abroad in Spain. It was hands down the best decision of my college career. Reason being is it exposed me to this entirely different lifestyle. Number one, the lifestyle of having paid all your bills up front, literally for 4 months, right? So for 4 months, I didn't have to have a job because all my bills were taken care of. I had a host mom. She's wonderful. Her name's Elisa. I have a note from her. Let me grab it. I have a note from Elisa. Oh, you can't see it. Can't see it. Anywho, I have a note from Elisa, and she's just amazing. I still keep in touch with her. But, you know, I lived with an amazing host mother, or host family. She handled all the cooking of the food. Let's tilt that. Yeah, she handled all the cooking of the food. She paid all the bills, essentially. We paid our program fee up front, didn't have to worry about anything else. I took out an extra loan so that I had spending money while I was abroad, and it was just about rationing what I had. So not only was it not paying bills, but it's this idea that I have an amount of money to spend, not to save, not to hoard, not to hope nothing happens to, but I have an amount of money to spend. And that was a different mindset that I never had before because I'd been save for 20 years, right? So those are two big key things that happened. But on top of that, I was introduced to this culture of people who put their family and their friends first in their life. I went to Spain, I remember my first night there. It's like 10:30 at night. There's kids running outside. There's people sitting at the coffee shops drinking coffee or drinking a beer. And I'm like, it's a school day. Why are these kids running around at 11 p.m.? Why don't they need to be in bed right now? They don't have bedtime. All these Spanish people are bad parents. I'm thinking all these crazy things that we get programmed. But the longer I stay there, I realize, hey, they put time with their family and friends first. The job will be there tomorrow. The responsibilities will be there tomorrow. It's not that they don't do them, they do them, but they know the reason they have a job is so that they can provide for the people they love, right? And it was just different. And I loved it. I fell in love with that culture, and it put this little thing inside of me that's what I want. I want to find a way to become that person where I can genuinely put my friends and my family, you know, before the ripping and running and the stresses of life. So that was my Spain experience. I also started traveling for the first time. So Spain was my first time abroad. But, you know, the countries in the European Union are so close together that you start to pop around so many places. And I ended up popping over to Portugal one weekend and didn't realize that Portuguese and Spanish are two completely different languages. Long story short, as soon as I crossed the border, I was at a loss. I had a backpack on. I was with a couple of friends. We had a map. We knew we were looking for the Good Feelings Hostel in Lagres, but that's all we knew. And we got on a bus, couldn't figure out how to make the bus stop. You know, we're trying to talk to people like, hey, do you know where this hostel is? We're speaking Spanish, they're speaking Portuguese back. Nobody's understanding anything, but we're having a good time. And we end up seeing the hostel on the side of the road, but the bus won't stop. So the bus takes us a couple miles past, and then we have to hitchhike back to where we remember seeing the hostel. So it was in the middle of that hitchhike that I was like, man, this is like the Amazing Race. I want to do that one day. And that was a thought, 2011 in the fall, because of that experience, right? But just like most of the dreams that we'll have, I put it in the back of my mind because, you know, I'm about to graduate college. I got to get my job. I got to pay off my loans. I got to do this. I got to do that. And so it wasn't until 4 years later when I did have a job, when I had paid off my loans, when I basically did everything that people prescribed for me to do, yet I was still feeling like there was more. That was when that idea, what about the Amazing Race? That's when that idea came back. So my challenge to y'all this February is think, what are those ideas that have popped in your mind that you know you've thought of, those dreams that you know you want, those goals that you know you want to attain, those things that seem unrealistic or that seem off the wall or that seem like they're not the right time, forward. What are those things? Bring them to the front of your mind, because at the end of the day, if you just take one step towards what you know in your heart and in your mind is what you actually want, be surprised. Maybe that one step leads to something that you would have never thought to do. And next thing you know, your game has completely changed. All right, that's your Tea with Michaela B. Hope you enjoyed it. See you all next week with another. And remember, March 8th is right around the corner, so tune in 8/7 Central, beginning March 8th, every Wednesday night to watch Survivor Season 34 Game Changers. Holla at you guys.